After they met the assembly, they sent Paul, Barnabas, a couple other fellows to Antioch, Syria, Sicily, to talk about the letter. Again, I'll say quickly on the letter. I'll pick it up 24. We have heard that some went without authorization, talking about circumcision of the flesh, the Old Testament. They said no. They agreed on that much. So we all agreed to choose some men to send to you. This is in the letter to those cities I mentioned. Barnabas and Paul, we went there, 2 men who have risked their own lives for Christ. Therefore, we are sending Judas and Silas, and confirm the word also. What we are writing, it seemed good to the Holy Spirit and to us not to burden you with anything from the circumcision I explained. But here's what they insisted on. The Apostle Paul disagreed, right? And I go with the Apostle Paul because, anyways, what they said, the same thing. You are to abstain from food sacrificed to idols, from blood, and from meat of strangled animals, and from sexual immorality. Well, that, of course. But of the flesh, you are to abstain from food sacrificed, as I said earlier in the first part, to idols. That's irrelevant, because the only way they could buy food was through the market, and it was already sacrificed to idols. Apostle Paul said in another letter, which disagreed with him here, and he's right. It's irrelevant. We don't worship those idols. It's the only way we can eat the meat. And how you kill them doesn't matter if they're strangled, and the blood doesn't matter. Blood has its own vitamins, proteins, his own vitamins, nutrients, and it's irrelevant, okay? I won't get into the Old Testament. It was all added because of many sins and sacrifices and the best meats you couldn't eat, and on and on. Okay, so it's going fast here. So farewell at the end of the letter. The men were sent off to Antioch. I need to go here quick to deliver the letter. Okay, Judas and Silas themselves were also prophets, teachers, themselves, and much to encourage. They encouraged the brothers. Here it is. They were sent off by the brothers at those cities, Antioch and that, Silas and Judas. But Paul and Barnabas stayed there with others. But in another text it says Silas also stayed there. He didn't leave. They wanted to be sent off by all the Christians, but he stayed, because later on, you'll see here, he was there. Sometime later, Paul was still there, and Barnabas, let us go back, he said, Paul, to visit the brothers in all the towns where we preached the Lord, see how they're doing. Barnabas wanted to take John, also called Mark, with them, but Paul did not think it wise to take him, because he had deserted them in Pamphylia and had not continued with them in the work. They had such a sharp disagreement, so they parted company. Barnabas took Mark and sailed to Cyprus, but Paul chose Silas. There you go. Silas must have stayed behind because he was there in Antioch, and left. Paul and Silas left, commended by the brothers, the Christians there. To the grace of the Lord, he went through Syria and Sicilia, strengthening their churches. Goodbye.